Good morning and welcome to Nora's Dog Training Company. We're here today with Stella and Rich, and what we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is Stella's ability to understand and respond to her formal on-leash obedience commands. The little corrections and little motivations that we give the dogs when we're working with them, and the training equipment that we're using. Rich is using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and he keeps the bulk of the leash folded neatly in his right hand. That leaves his left hand free to give any correction that's needed, and the only correction that we give is a slight tug and release on the training collar. And that is the second piece of equipment that we're using. Stella's going to come home with her very own training equipment, and you're going to be taught how to use that properly during your follow-up training session with her this afternoon. Now, she's sitting very nicely at Rich's left, which is where all of our obedience training is done. And the first exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you is probably one of the most important, and that's heeling. Heeling is proper leash walking, and the command is Stella, heel.
Stella, heel.
Now at this point, Stella has a job to do, and that is to maintain pace with you when you're walking. Not forging ahead, not lagging behind, focusing on you. She went to put her mouth on the leash. Rich told her no, gave her that little correction that we were talking about. If he turns like her, what we want from her is her to focus more on you than what's going on around her. And each time that you stop your feet, she has been taught to sit automatically without being told to wait for her next command. So if you stop to cross traffic or talk to a neighbor, she should be sitting nicely at your left and waiting for her next command. And that should be automatic. Now the next command that we're going to demonstrate for you is the sit stay. Stay is a hand and a voice command, and because it is a stationary exercise, it is a one-word command. If she goes to get up, Rich reads her body language and tells her no, stay, before she ever even really got up. When he returns back to her, he walks counterclockwise all the way back around to where they started. He stops at her shoulders, and at this point she expects to get another command.
Stella, heel.
And he tells her to heel again. If she goes to drop her head, he won't allow her to, because if you control her head, you have better control of the whole dog. So you don't want her head on the ground sniffing and doing all that. When she's heeling, she's supposed to be focused on you. Now this time, instead of returning back to her, Rich is going to demonstrate the come on command. And if you notice, he doesn't get all squeaky or overly happy. It's Stella, come.
Stella, heel.
And Stella back to heel, back sitting. Very good. And she's been taught to come and sit in front of you, not come and jump all over you.
Stella, heel.
But if you keep that head up off the ground, then you have much more control of her. Now the next command that Rich is demonstrating again is the sit stay. He backs away from her, turns to face her, and when you're practicing at home, lengthen out these. You can practice this right in the house. Rich calls her. She comes and sits.
Stella, heel.
And then she goes back to heel and back sitting.
Stella, heel.
Now we brought a little blanket out here for her because we had to shovel out a place to do our video. But even with our labs, we don't expect them to lay down on frozen ground. So the next commands that we're going to be demonstrating for you are your down commands. So with her always seated first. This is down from a heel position, left open palm, straight down toward the ground. One word command to down and stay. Your long down stay, when you're practicing at home, you're going to work all the way up to 5 minutes. This helps to build self-control, maturity. When Rich returns back to her, he walks all the way around her just as he did on the sit stay, returning all the way back to heel, stops at her shoulders, heels her out of that,
Stella, heel.
and he'll demonstrate that for us again.
Down. Stay.
And she's looking around, but she's not breaking that, and that's good.
No.
And you can remind her, like if you're trying to lengthen out your stays, you can remind her, like, you know, stay
Stella heel.
or no stay.
Stella heel.
And the very last command that we're going to demonstrate for you is your down from a distance. This is a little bit harder because she's not right next to you. Rich is going to leave her in the sit stay and turn to face her. This is the only time he's going to use his right hand to give the command.
All the way. Down. Stay.
And again, with this command, you're going to lengthen out your distance, or the amount of time, you know, the distance between you and the dog when giving the command. So Stella has done a great job here at school. We're very proud of her accomplishment. She's a sweet girl. She's a big puppy. And we want to thank you for choosing Nora's Dog Training Company, and we will see you very soon.